Hello, hey. So today I was going to make a quick video on uh, kind of how you work in GitHub Desktop or GitHub with making a branch. So if you're working with a team, basically like how you can have your own branches and not like override each other's code. And then I'll talk a little bit about how you actually merge that back into the main branch. So first off, think about GitHub as like you have the main like trunk of the tree, and so that's like the like production code, like the main code that like you don't want to just go and break. So what you'll do is you'll actually make branches off of that main code, and then you'll do whatever it is you need to do to the code, and then you will do what's called a pull request. And so that's a request for your branch to get pulled into the main branch. Okay, a pull request to get pulled in. And then if that is approved, then they will merge or pull your branch into that main branch. Okay, so that's kind of the big gist of what we're doing here. And we'll talk about merging in a little bit. But first off, so this is a little code I'm working on, and I have just a main branch. That's the only branch that I have on here. But let's say this main branch is like production ready and I want to break it, but I want to make a new feature. So if I can go here to current branch right here up top, and I can do that, I'll drop down and make a new branch. Now, being that I only have one branch, it's not going to ask me what branch I want to branch off of because just main. But if you do have another branch, then it'll ask you which one you want to take off of. And I'll show you that in a minute. So we'll just say that this is new feature one branch. So new feature one, okay? And we're going to create branch. So now we have this branch. If you publish branch, it'll put it actually on your github.com, which I can go ahead and do. No big deal. If eventually you want this branch to be brought in, you're going to need to do that. So right now on this branch, pull up my code here. So I'm on that branch, my new feature one branch. So if I make a change in here, and it could be a space, an enter, whatever, doesn't matter. If you make any change, so I'll just say this is a comment. When you go back to GitHub Desktop, you will see there's the change that I made. Okay, you notice current branch is still this branch here. So if I go back to my main branch, nothing happens to that other branch. It's going to ask me if I want to leave my changes or bring them. So I just want to leave them where they are because they're not production ready. So just leave them there and say switch branch. So now when I go back to my code, you'll see that change we made is not there anymore because we are now on the main branch. We're not on that new feature branch anymore. Okay, so you can go back to your other branch, new feature branch, and it's going to say, hey, I've got some stashed changes here. So you made changes and it stashed them. So do you want to get them back? So you can view them and say, oh, okay, yeah, I really like this. I need to keep working on it. Or you can discard them if you don't want them. So for now, we're going to restore them because we want to keep working on it. So now they're back here. So now again, if we go back to our code, you'll see it's back there. Cool. So now let's say that we wanted to, if we made a new branch now, then it's going to ask us, okay, which branch do you want to branch off of? So typically you're not going to want to branch off of a branch of a branch of a branch of a branch because it's going to get super complicated. But you can. I mean, definitely if you and your coworker working on a feature and you've split that into two parts, then maybe you have this part and they have this part, and that's fine. Um, so whenever your branch is ready, so let's say, okay, this is good to go. I'm ready. I want to do a pull request. I want to request that it gets pulled into the main branch. So first I got to come down here and commit. So update app.js, just say I made a comment. Yay. Okay. So then I'm going to commit this, and it's committing to my new feature branch right here. So it committed up there. When you do push, that's going to push it to your branch on github.com. Okay. So we're going to push it up there. And then it's going to offer us this option to preview a pull request. So again, this is when you're like, okay, this branch is ready. I'm going to put it. I want to do a pull request. I want to request that it gets pulled into the main branch. So we're going to preview a pull request. which just brings up all the changes that have been made on this branch. And it asks up here, do you want to commit it? What base branch do you want to commit it into? Which in this case is going to be main. And so, yep, it looks good. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to create pull request. So this is going to go to github.com and open the pull request window, which you can do all this on the website too, but GitHub Desktop is just way easier. Yep, so it's same thing. It's asking, this is the branch you want to pull it into. This is the branch that you want to compare it to see if there's any merge conflicts or anything like that. And so then right down here, you would type in, what your pull request does, like, it fixes this bug or adds this new feature or whatever it is. Try to be descriptive. On the right here, if you have any reviewers in your team, then you can select them. At work, we have it set up so that you have to have someone review the code, so that way you're not, just relying on yourself. And then we have assignees, so you can assign yourself to this pull request, labels and projects and all that stuff that you can get into later down the road. So I'm happy with this. I want to go ahead and create my pull request. So I create it, and then cool. So right up here, you'll see this pull request tab, and then this is the pull request. So down here, it's going to check if there's any merge conflicts, which merge conflict basically means that you've written some code that's going to override something on the main branch. And so it wants to make sure, okay, which one do you want to keep? And we'll try to actually make a merge conflict here in a minute. So this one's good to go. All the checks passed. No big deal. Once you hit merge pull request, it's going to take your branch, everything on your branch, and put that on the main branch. So it's like, all right, it's going, it's going to production basically. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to hit merge pull request, and it's going to ask if you want to confirm it. You do. Merges it. All right, successfully merged. So now when we go back to GitHub Desktop, we will see on our main, if we go to our main branch, so if we fetch origin here on the right, it should have something we can pull down, which it does. So those changes that we made on the other branch that we pulled into main are now on github.com, and we can pull them down to our local machine. So right now, if we look at our code, you'll see there's not, that comment is not in here, right? So if we go ahead and pull it, we're going to pull it down. Okay, cool. So it's pulled in. So now when we go, bam, there's our comment. Okay.